Our boys took over our scooter, so we got another one. Here's the KUGOO KIRIN. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are
two crazy campers. After losing a combined weight of more than 200 pounds.
We realized we had so much more energy for activities.
Come along with us as we explore the great outdoors.
And join us on a brand new adventure.
So recently, our adult sons have pretty much taken over our scooters.
Yes.
And one of them actually went Pokemon hunting and broke one. And we can't get replacement parts that easily for it.
Yeah.
So we've been on the hunt for a new scooter, and we actually reached out to a company called KUGOO KIRIN, and we are going to review the KUGOO KIRIN G3 scooter. Now, full disclosure, we did not pay for this scooter. They provided for us for the sake of this review, but they do not get to see the video first, and they have no say in what we say about it, whether we like it or whether we don't like it. But I'm super excited about it. I'm going to leave a link for everything down below, and we found the perfect place to go ahead and give this thing a trial run.
The Everglades. We are actually camping at Midway Campground down here in Big Cypress, and I think this is the perfect place to off-road.
Yeah, the best part is you can look around. There's nobody here.
Nope.
We have a 5 things review for this campground. I'm going to leave a link for it right up here. But we're in the middle of the Florida Everglades. There's nobody here, so we're going to try it here. We're going to take it over to a couple of other places while we're here, and then put it through the full 5 things review. So unboxing the G3 scooter was pretty straightforward. It's packed very securely in foam, and there was nothing rattling around inside of the box. I found the easiest way to actually get the scooter out of the box was to turn it over and allow the entire scooter to come out with the foam still attached to it. And since it's packed right side up, I would actually suggest opening the box from the bottom. Inside of the box, there was actually a set of instructions with a small tool bag and some screws, and that's all you're going to need for the assembly. Now, the foam comes off very easily, and it's not a regular styrofoam, so you don't have to worry about having little bits all over your campsite. Once you have the packing foam off, all you need to do is lift the upright pole and then secure it with the reflector nut down on the bottom. Once you have it out of the box, assembly is pretty straightforward. We just have to attach the handlebars and the rear fender. To put the handlebar on, it's pretty simple. Simply drop it into the upright pole, and you really can't put it on backwards because the cables won't allow you to turn it the wrong way. Now, there are actually 4 included screws, 2 for each side. All you need to do is line up the holes with the handlebar with the holes on the upright pole, and the holes on the handlebar actually have threading in them, so there's no need for any nuts. The only other thing we have to do is install the fender on the rear wheel. Simply line up the slots on the fender with the piece on the scooter, and then you're going to use the 2 included screws to attach it. Now, as far as features for the KUGOO KIRIN G3 scooter, it has a built-in TPU suspension, which honestly I would say is more of a dampening system than your traditional suspension. You can see when I'm jumping up and down on it, it does have a little bit of play, but it doesn't have that traditional suspension that you might be used to with springs. So it'll handle off-road, but you're definitely going to feel a little bit of it. Now, when it comes to the battery, it features an 18 amp hour or 936 watt hour battery, and it has a stated range on optimal conditions of 37 miles for a charge. When it comes to the motor, it has a 1200 watt brushless motor. It has 3 light modes, a touchable display, 10.5-inch off-road tires, and it features front and rear vented disc brakes. As far as the size for the KUGOO KIRIN, it's 47.2 inches long from front to back, 26 inches wide. It is 51 inches tall when you have it unfolded and you're operating on it, and it is 21.7 inches when you have it folded. Now let's go over all the controls and the screen for the G3 scooter, and you're going to notice right away, I'm not at the campground. When we got home, I was going over all the footage, and I noticed that the footage of me showing you the screen, it wasn't that good. The screen is very, very dim, And when you're outside, you really can't see it that well, especially if you're in bright sunlight, and it really didn't translate well over to the camera. So I wanted to take a moment now to just go over all the controls as well as show you the screen, and then we'll get back to the other footage. Starting over here on the right hand side, we have a thumb throttle. So it's just simply use your thumb and press it down. And then we also have our power button, and then we have our brake, and this is for the front brake. Over on the left hand side, we have a bell, and then we have another brake, and that is going to be for your rear brake. Now, if we press the thumb throttle button, you will immediately turn on the power, and then we can go over the screen. So taking a closer look at the screen, over here on the left-hand side on the bottom, we're going to have our battery life. So I have just over a half a battery left. We're going to have right here is going to be our battery voltage. This is going to be our motor draw, as well as our motor temperature up here. And this is your distance traveled. You can have it set in miles or kilometers. So I have it set in miles. I've gone 27 miles. Then over here, we're going to have our current speed. Now, if you press this set button right here, that is going to change you from miles per hour to kilometers. So press it again, you go back to miles per hour, and it also changes over here for your distance travel. Here we have our light button, and it took me a little while to figure out this light button. So if you press it one time, you're going to have this little light come up here, and that is going to indicate that you only have it on a tail light. Press it again. Now you only have a headlight and no tail light. Press it again, you're going to have a headlight and tail light. And if you press it a third time, you have a headlight, tail light, and you have side mood lights. Over here we have our speed mode, 1, 2, or 3. Mode 1, I believe, is like 16 miles per hour. Mode 2 is like 21 miles per hour. Mode 3 is max speed at 31 miles per hour. We change that by simply pressing the Mode 1, Mode 2, or Mode 3. Now, we have right here our cruise control button. If we press and hold the mode button, that'll turn off the cruise control. Press and hold it again, you turn it on. The way we activate cruise control is by pressing our thumb throttle and holding it at a steady speed for 3 seconds. That'll activate cruise control. If you hit the brake, it turns it off. Now, if you press and hold this set button, you're going to get this little symbol here. This symbol indicates that you have kickstart mode disabled, which means that all you have to do is press the throttle and you'll go. You don't have to give it a kickstart. I find that to be a little dangerous. I advise keeping it off. Just press and hold the set button, and that will turn it off. So a couple of cool features I wanted to show you before we moved on, because I didn't originally know about these. I learned it as I started playing with the scooter while we were camping. And originally, it was going to be a con. And that is the ability to control your light and control your mode from the power button. What I learned was keep your eye on up here on the screen for your light. If while you have the scooter on, if you press the power button one time, quickly just tap it, you turn on your light. If you press it again, you put on light mode 1, press it again, light mode 2, press it again, light mode 3, and then press it again and your mode is off. The other thing that I was worried about, and this was more of a safety thing for me than anything, was changing your speed mode. Because again, the only thing I could figure out originally was pressing the mode button, but when you can't see the screen, that meant you had to stop in order to do it. Not true. You can actually control it with your power button as well. And this originally was a negative for me, and then when I figured it out, it didn't make the cons list. So if you double tap it quickly, you'll switch it to mode 2. Double tap it quickly, you'll switch it to mode 3. Double tap it quickly, you'll switch it to mode 1. You do have to press it very quickly. If there's any delay, you'll end up doing the light. So like I said, originally it was going to be a con that you couldn't control your mode as you were driving down the street. Yes, you could do it by pressing the mode button on the screen, but I felt that was a little dangerous because that meant you had to take one of your hands off of the scooter, either the thumb throttle or the other hand for your brake. And I felt that was really dangerous because now you're trying to drive at, say, 20, 25 miles an hour and steer with one hand, and we don't want to do that. So I was really happy to see that you can simply double tap the power button to change mode. If I want to get really picky, I would rather see it the other way around, where you would single tap to change the mode and then double tap to change the light. But that's a small picky thing. But I'm really glad that that feature is there because, like I said, originally, that was going to be a huge con for me.
love this scooter. This is really nice. I love the wide platform on this, and I actually think this would make a perfect like second mode of transportation if you're trying to get to work and save gas, because this thing goes very fast. But what makes it awesome also makes it a little bit scary, and you need to be cautious because it does go very, very fast. So since we have our other scooter with us, we thought we would provide just a visual comparison, because as you can see, this is like wimpy, 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 hefty, hefty, hefty. I mean, this looks like this one's daddy for sure. Now, I love the fact that this gets very compact for travel, but they have another one of these that can get more compact also. So, but this guy is just a dinosaur beast. It's so big, you can see it's very formidable. I love how wide and strong the deck is. I feel very, very comfortable on this deck no matter what shoes I'm wearing. Very, very comfortable ride, very sturdy, giant wheels. The thickness of the wheels really does make it a nice, smooth ride. We were on, you know, all kinds of different terrains, and it's like you don't even notice it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful ride. Okay, let's talk about portability. This is an off-roading machine. It's constructed really, really well, but it is heavier than our other scooter. This one is much lighter and portable, much easier for kids to use, but this is more of an off-roading machine, so I kind of expect it to be a little bit more heavy along with heavy duty.
So let's jump into our 5 things review of the KUGOO KIRIN G3 electric scooter. If you are new to our channel, we review all products based on 5 things. We're going to talk about
quality, ease of use, accessories, the price, and finally, would we recommend it?
So number 1, quality. I'm super impressed with the quality of the KUGOO KIRIN. I mean, it is just built very, very well. Definitely worth the money that they're charging for it. The motor is really good. I think the brakes work fantastic. Just the overall construction, super strong metal. I didn't feel like I was going to break anything. No. The shocks, the tires, I'm not worried about puncturing them. They're super beefy, heavy duty.
Yeah, and the deck itself is very, very wide and strong. Like no matter what shoes I'm wearing, I'm gonna feel confident on it. You know, that I'm not just kind of like gonna slip off the deck while I'm riding that thing.
Yeah, the quality, it's just built very well. So number 2,
we're gonna look at ease of use.
Okay, so we're gonna have to go backtrack with this and get into the unboxing and setup. And I will say, when it comes to the unboxing and setup, it was very easy. It came pretty much completely put together in one box. There is the fender that you can go ahead and put on, which is just 2 screws, and then the handlebar, which is 4 screws, and it comes with all of the tools and everything that you need. The only thing you may need to do is adjust the tire pressure and also maybe possibly adjust the brakes. I didn't need to adjust the brakes. I had to add a little bit of air to the tires. But once I had the tires inflated and made sure the brakes were adjusted, it was good to go. Super easy to use.
The only thing I would say is it's not as easy to collapse it and expand it, you know, because it's not really loose, which is a good thing. It's part of the sturdiness. I mean, once you get it together, it's together.
Yeah.
But it took a little bit more than our other scooter to really just like latch it together.
When you want to collapse it, you have to unscrew the reflector, and it's this big long screw, and you have to keep unscrewing it, unscrewing it, unscrewing it, and then it does have some resistance when it folds down and then when it stands up. So that is something to think about as compared to our Turbo Ant, where it's just like one little button and the whole thing folds super easy.
Right.
Once you fold it, I don't know how I feel about the strap that dangles along the handlebar, and then that strap is supposed to wrap around the back to pick it up. Once you put it on there, it doesn't slip off. I thought it would slip off.
It doesn't.
But I'm not really a fan of just this strap hanging down At first, I see that strap, and I feel like it's a kill switch or something like that.
Right. It reminds me of like when you go on a treadmill.
Yeah.
That's electric. The key for it.
Now, as far as the rest of easy use, it's pull the throttle and you go. So it's got a thumb throttle.
Brakes.
It works really well. I love the front and back brakes. That is so much easier to use than our Turbo Ant, where you have a hand brake for the front and then the back is, you know, pressing your foot along the thing. I really like the dual disc brakes.
I have to remember to be more coordinated for the Turbo Ant.
Let's talk about the use of the screen.
If you're using it at night, wonderful. However, in the daylight, and especially at a very bright place, like we're in the Everglades right now using this scooter, it's very hard to see the screen when it lights up. And the directions don't really give a lot of information as to like how to get the most out of it.
Yeah, so I definitely have to look at that and say that when you get the direction, they do really tell you what each button does on the screen, but they don't tell you what they do. So, for example, there's a mode button, and you have mode 1, 2, and 3. It doesn't tell you the differences. I had to figure it out. Mode 1 is slow. Mode 2 is faster than our Turbo Ant, and mode 3 is make sure you're wearing a helmet and don't let your kids on it.
Right.
Because I had this thing up to 34 miles an hour.
Wow.
The other thing is doesn't tell you how to turn on and off cruise control. I will tell you now, if you press and hold the mode button until the little cruise control icon shows up, now you're in cruise control. You activate cruise control by driving at the same speed for, I'm guesstimating it's about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you can let go of the throttle and it will keep going. And as soon as you hit the brakes, it comes out. But the directions don't tell you that.
You just have to explore the vehicle until you figure it out.
Yeah, the directions also don't tell you the difference between light mode of off, 1, 2, and 3. The brakes, though, I did figure out when you press the brakes, it does flash a brake light. So I really like that.
Yeah, me too.
Once you're set up and you figure out the screen, it's very simple to use.
So next up is accessories.
Yeah, so it doesn't really come with a whole lot of accessories. It comes with the little foot pedal. You don't have to worry about anything. The battery is not detachable. It does come with the battery charger. I did like the fact that when you look on their website, you can buy parts.
Yes.
Sometimes these scooters, it's hard to get parts, which is one of the reasons we had to get a new scooter. Because our son took our scooter Pokemon hunting.
Right.
And crashed and broke it. And we couldn't get the replacement parts. They said they had them, but 3 months later, still not in stock. So number 4.
Going to be the price.
This one's a bit expensive. So we do want to say that this is an off-roading machine. This is not like a regular just commuter machine. Can you use it for commuting? Yes. I would absolutely use this to go up to the grocery store.
Yes.
If you're like we are right now in the middle of the Everglades and don't want to drive and just want to go for a good ride, oh yeah, it is fun because it is fast.
I absolutely believe that this is a second vehicle for somebody who lives in close proximity to their work.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's going to get you there and in a hurry.
But the price of this unit right now, and again, I'm going to leave a link down below, is $1,099 listed on sale on their website right now. Now, they do have a couple of other versions, including one that is closer to our Turbo Ant.
Right.
And that one falls more in line with the price of what we paid for the Turbo Ant. And I believe that one, even though we don't have it to review, I'm going to mention it. Honestly, I would say that if I was going to get another scooter, like more of a commuter type scooter, not without the off-road tires and stuff, I would probably go towards that just because I'm so impressed with the build quality and everything.
Yeah, the construction makes me want to get another one of these. And but it may be cost prohibitive if you are just an entry-level scooter hunter, right? Mm-hmm. Like if you're just looking for your very first scooter, may not be this particular one in their product line.
Yeah. So number 5, would we recommend it?
I think it is heck of a good time. Like really, really a fun scooter to use. But I'm going to say with an asterisk, for adults, really for adults, unless you just have the most obedient children who would never even think of moving it up to level 3 and going 35 miles an hour. I think my mama heart needs it to stay adults because I would be too worried for the kids to be riding on it.
Yeah, so again, this particular scooter is made for off-road. And it can handle off-road.
It's awesome.
We don't have a whole lot of dirt bike trails here where we were able to test it, but I was able to run through grass and mud. It handled it very well.
Very well.
But it's fast. It's got a very powerful motor to be able to make it off-road, so I would not recommend it for children. A couple of things that we probably should have touched it with one of the earlier categories that I am going to mention here. I do have a couple of negatives to go with this. Overall, super impressed, but when it comes to recommending, I'm going to tell you a couple of negatives. Like you said earlier, it's kind of heavy compared to a lot of commuter ones. So if you're looking for just something
super light,
keep in the trunk and take in and out, this may not be the option. I'd probably look at one of their other units. If you're looking to just have it in your RV and only have to assemble it when you go to a new place, maybe every week or 2 weeks.
No problem.
I think this thing is great. I think it's better for RVing because of the heavy-duty off-road tires, because of the shock system. I am more comfortable with this for RVing.
Yeah.
Just because of the build quality. The deck is bigger and all that. You just have to be careful because of the speed and the power of it. The lifting it up with the strap, it took a little bit for me to get used to it. I think the biggest con I have to this is that screen. I love the touch screen, but I hate the fact that I can't see it. It is very, very dim.
Yeah, so sometimes, if you're moving the mode, kind of while you're in motion, you have to stop what you're doing and pull over because you really can't see, like, am I pushing the right button?
Yeah.
Especially if you're using it in full light like we have.
And one other thing that I'm going to say that is probably a pro and a con, which I know sounds kind of weird, but it is. It has a really strong motor, but it doesn't have a lot of get up and go.
Right.
So when you pull the throttle or push the throttle, however you look at doing it, it's not like a takeoff. You do have to do your kickstart like most electric scooters, but it takes a little bit of time to get up to that max speed.
I'm okay with that.
Well, that's why I'm saying. So it's a con because if you look at like a car, like I want like 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds.
Yeah.
That's not the case with this scooter, but it's a scooter. And so I don't know if I necessarily need that get up and go. It'll get you out of mud. It'll get you up a hill, but it takes a little bit of time for it to rev up to full power. So it's a con, but it's also a safety pro.
Right.
So that's going to be our 5 things review of the KUGOO KIRIN G3 electric scooter. Overall, I have to say, I love it.
I love it.
And I actually want another one now. Now, please do us a favor. Hit that like button down below. It really does help build the channel, but it also lets us know what type of videos you guys are looking to see.
Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
Till next time.
Happy camping.